So this isn't about band-aid fixes that you already have tried. This isn't about taking more PTO days or even pretending that a vacation or a spa day is going to solve anything. Feeling good from all those things only lasts temporarily, and then you're right back at square one in the exhaustion, burnout, irritability loop. You don't need another surface level fix. You need to understand what's really happening underneath and why your mind and your body are keeping you in this loop so that you can put an end to this. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you how to do. Make sure you stay to the end so you can get the full blueprint. I'm Mel, former registered nurse turned mentor for the nurse who wants to leave nursing, but she's scared to take that step. The truth that a lot of nurses don't hear is that it's not about staffing, it's not about time, it's not about switching units even. It is so much deeper than that. You can actually retrain your mind and your body to feel safe, to feel calm, to feel at peace again. So nothing is wrong with you. You've just been conditioned to stay in survival mode, but that ends now. First things first, your mind absolutely loves what is familiar. Even if the role you're currently in is uncomfortable, even if the burnout, the exhaustion, the irritability is uncomfortable and you know you want to change, your mind is going to continue to choose that because it's what's familiar. And it'll choose what's familiar over what's unknown every single time. So yeah, I know that you want to feel peaceful. I know you want to feel calm. I know you want to feel energized, to show up and feel alive with yourself and with the people you love. But your mind isn't used to that right now. So it's going to continue to choose the burnout cycles over and over and over again until you give it a new command to work with. So if you've been living in a state of chronic stress, being busy all the time, having this long to-do list for years, that is what your mind has grown comfortable with. That is what your body has grown comfortable with. That became your new normal and that became your baseline. So that means that your mind will literally create the same old things over and over and over again on autopilot because that is what you're used to. Even when you say you want peace, even though you say those things, it just goes in one ear and out the other because your mind is familiar with the stress, the burnout, the anxiety, the irritability, the exhaustion. Since your mind and your body is used to this, it automatically accepts the environments that'll cause you to continue to feel exhausted, to feel irritable and tired all the time. So I want you to think of it like software on your computer. If you haven't updated your software, your computer is going to continue running on whatever old outdated software that it currently has. It's the same thing with your mind. Until you update the software, until you take out all the junk that's causing you to unconsciously choose the exhaustion, the burnout, the stress cycles, your mind's going to continue to automatically seek those things out. So the new software has to be related to you feeling at peace with slowing down, with resting, with being still. You have to make that familiar. And if not, you'll stay exactly where you are no matter how much willpower you try to put into this, no matter how much you try to change. You're going to end right back up in square one if you don't get to the root of why you're unconsciously choosing this exhaustion burnout loop in the first place. So in order to start retraining your mind to become comfortable with rest, with that version of you that you want to become, that peaceful version of yourself, you must start allowing your mind to be still and to rest. So you could start with a few minutes a day. It'll make a huge difference. When you sit still and you let your mind be still, even if it's only for a few minutes first thing in the morning, it's retraining your mind that it's safe to just be still. If you want to increase it, if you want to do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's perfect. And it'll also be really helpful for you to get clear on how you would like to feel and take a few minutes a day to embody that. Close your eyes and allow yourself to feel that. I want you to picture yourself feeling that. Picture yourself waking up excited. Picture yourself having energy, playing with your kids, playing with your family. Picture however you want to be. So your mind doesn't know the difference between visualization and real life. So it'll really be to your advantage to start picturing yourself as that version of you that you want to become. Especially first thing in the morning when your mind is the most suggestible. You'll start to see some changes with how you show up in your day-to-day situations because you're priming your mind, you're rewiring your mind to feel safe in that new identity. Start updating that internal software. You have to make peace, rest, calmness, and stillness familiar to you again. Number 2, you've been trained and conditioned to equate worthiness with work. You have deep, unconscious, contradictory, limiting beliefs around rest and work. And these beliefs are making it so that you're more likely to work hard than to rest, and to keep choosing the hard work, to keep choosing the full to-do list, the full day, the million things that you have to do that are all contributing to this exhaustion, stress, irritability loop. So this comes from several things. This comes from society. This comes from the way that you're raised by your caregivers. If you saw your mom working hard, if you saw whoever took care of you working hard, unconsciously, especially up until the age of 7, our minds are extremely suggestible. We take on the same beliefs, the same limiting beliefs as our caregivers a lot of times. So I love to ask this question of whether or not your beliefs are really your beliefs, or if you're living out somebody else's beliefs. So when we see our caregivers working hard, when we hear everybody else in society telling us to work harder, I always remember this shirt that says nobody cares, work harder. When we constantly see that and we're constantly fed that, that's training our minds to accept that as truth and to accept that as the standard. So especially at a young age, we just do what we're taught, and we take this into adulthood. If those beliefs are never questioned, then you're going to continue to live those out in your day-to-day life, in your career, in your relationships. So you probably learned that rest had to be earned. You probably learned that it's lazy or unproductive to rest. And that probably came from watching your parents work hard. It probably came from you getting praised for working hard. All of that is like your mind is taking score of all of that. And so we form these unconscious limiting beliefs that keep us in these boxes of like the hard worker box, where essentially you start working hard in order to earn acceptance or approval or love. But remember that all of that is outdated programming that can't go with you to that new version of you who feels comfortable and safe enough to rest without feeling guilty. And especially as nurses, the role of a nurse is so many other roles. It's not just nurse, right? You're the caregiver, you're the teacher, you're the point of contact for family members. You're literally everything. You do all these different roles within nursing. You've been trained even more so in your role as a nurse to work hard. And I'm pretty sure when you finally get the chance to sit down and rest, to take your PTO day, you feel guilty. And I know because I'm speaking from past experience of what I used to feel until I reprogrammed my mind and rewired my belief system and all that. So it's possible. But you gotta really do it. Buckle down and like really do this. Because until you are even aware of the unconscious limiting beliefs that's running in the background, you won't be able to adjust those and rewrite those and start walking in those new truths and those new beliefs and that new identity. So in order to break this cycle, I want you to write down your beliefs about work, about rest. Do you believe that you have to earn your rest? How do you feel when you're resting? How do you feel when you get a day off from work? How do you feel when you call off from work? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel like you're letting your team members down? You're letting other people down? Do you feel like people will be mad at you for calling out? You feel like you're letting your patients down? Get it all out so you can see it on paper. And then I want you to rewrite the opposite of those beliefs. So if you believe that you have to work hard before you can rest without feeling guilty about it, I want you to rewrite that as rest is productive. I deserve rest. I am most powerful when I rest. I'm most healthy when I rest. Whatever language resonates with you. But the moment you identify and start rewriting those beliefs, you actually create a new blueprint for your mind, one that actually aligns with the type of woman that you want to show up as, the type of life that you want to live, one that aligns with that peaceful, fulfilled, calm, centered version of yourself. So the next thing you need to know is that your nervous system just does not feel safe right now unless it's feeling those familiar feelings of stress, irritability, and exhaustion. So because your body has been living in fight or flight mode for so long and you've been chronically stressed, when you sit still, when you rest, it literally feels unsafe for your body because your body's not used to it. So when you finally do sit down to rest, your body thinks that something's wrong. And that's why you feel guilty when you finally do sit down to rest. That's why you feel antsy, or you feel like you need to be doing something, or you feel like you need to keep busy, like you should be doing more, like you're not doing enough. But that's just the old version of you, the old pattern that's trying to stay alive, trying to keep you in that same loop. You must learn to override this if you want to break this cycle, if you want to get out this loop for good. So in order to break free, you have to start embodying rest, calmness, and stillness. So you have to start sitting still to retrain your body that is safe in being still, that is safe to just be, that is safe to just sit and to not do. You have to override your mind, override your body, the chatter. That's going to tell you to move. That's going to tell you to get up. That's going to tell you that you need to be doing something else. When it's time for you to sit still and it wants you to check something or get up and move, you have to learn to become so disciplined in your stillness. When you set time for yourself to sit, if you got to set a timer, set that timer. 3 minutes a day, just sit still, because you're training your body that it's safe to sit still. It will feel uncomfortable. You will feel guilty. You will feel like you need to be doing something. You will feel like you're doing something wrong or you're not doing enough. And when that guilt comes up, you must override that by continuing to show up anyway, by continuing to stay the course, by continuing to be still, even though your mind and your body is screaming at you to do something else. When that little chatter, that little voice, that old programming comes up in the background of your mind, I want you to just breathe through it. Say, that's interesting. In your head, that's interesting. And take a breath. I am safe. All is well. And continue to sit until your timer is up. This is literally you teaching your body in small increments that it's okay to feel safe again. That being calm is actually safe. Do this for 21 days, a few minutes each day, and you will be surprised at how you feel afterwards. Because remember that every small step, every few minutes, all of that compounds. All of that is adding to the retraining and the reprogramming of your mind and your body, your nervous system, updating that software, rewiring your mind, rewiring your body, that it's okay to be still. It's okay to rest. It's okay to sit. It's okay to just be and not do. So don't tell yourself that you don't have the time to do this, because you do have the time. When things like that come up, that's just your mind trying to keep you where you are. Because remember, it loves what's familiar. So it's going to try to say, oh, we don't have the time, but that's the very thing that you're retraining your mind to get out of. If you're tired of showing up to these shifts, you're tired of being exhausted outside of work, at work, if you really want to start rewiring your mind and changing your mind, your body, changing your life, you have to start showing up for yourself. So you can exchange a few minutes of social media scrolling or watching TV or whatever it is. Just a few minutes. Just start with a few minutes each day for 21 days. And that in itself is showing your mind and your body that you're ready to walk into and embody that new version of yourself who feels safe with resting and with being calm and with being still. And you will be amazed at how your baseline shifts once you stop letting stress take control of your life. Let me know in the comments if you up for the challenge. Let me know in the comments if you're going to start this and how you feel throughout this process. I would love to help keep you accountable. You have one life to live and you can't get it back. And you deserve peace in a way that does not sacrifice your mental and your physical health. Please do yourself a favor and start making these changes, because enough is enough. So if you're tired of living in this loop and you've been craving real clarity about if it's time for you to finally walk away from nursing, you'll get that within 35 minutes when you join my free Should I Stay or Should I Go masterclass. The link is below. And if you already know you're done being stuck, you don't want to stay in nursing, but you need guidance and support, and you want to use a step-by-step framework from somebody who's actually done it, join my signature program. which is designed especially for you. I show you how to leave nursing without regret and how to start your new chapter and start creating a life that you love outside of nursing. It's time to rebuild a life that actually feels like yours again. The link for that is below too. Because it's really not about hustling harder. It's not about working harder. It's about finally feeling safe to really live your life how you want to live it. It's about finally feeling safe enough to rest, to heal, to be at peace, and to start creating a life that you love from the inside out. So start small. Start now, but you must start. And don't let your mind keep trying to convince you that you have to stay where you are, that there's no way out, that you have to stay in this loop, or that you don't have time to do this. That's just the old pattern trying to keep you where you are. But now that you're aware of what it is and what it's trying to do, you can rise above it and take your power back. You absolutely have the power to rewrite your story. You have the power to rewire your mind and your body for peace. You absolutely deserve to feel peaceful, to feel alive, to feel energized and healthy again, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in all the ways. You got this.